All right, today, one of my all-time favorites is actually joining us on the show because we're going to discuss his movie, 2004's Get Lucky. Welcome back to Squeaky Clean Adult Films. I'm Jason from Barefoot.
Well, you got me in front of a white screen back there.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm coming out of heaven.
Now, this man has a bunch of names. Bill Dollars, Penny Nichols, Frank Marks, Cash Markman, Marc Cashman. But Marc Cushman, on the other hand, I'm a huge fan of Marc Cushman. I love Marc Cushman. Joining us today is Marc Cushman.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's great to see you.
One of the most prolific, talented, top of the pyramid. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I guess we're going.
All right, let's start with the start.
Started out doing it for the money. I was a mainstream writer, writing for primetime TV shows and things like that. And we were on strike. And I was offered to come in and script some of these things. So I did it for the money. But then I started loving it because it was fun. I could do anything I wanted to do. They rarely had a premise. They usually just called me up and said, we need 30 pages and we need it by Tuesday. So I would find out what the sets were, how big the cast was. I would pitch a couple titles at them, a couple concepts, and they said, yeah, sounds good. I'd sit down in 2 days and write one of those 35-page scripts, walk over, hand it to them, and they would give me a big, sweaty palm full of cash.
That's nice.
It was nice.
If you needed to be above board, Cash was your man.
You're the one that taught me that they had to be 30 pages to be above board, to be legitimate.
Yeah, because if you wanted to shoot in Los Angeles County, you needed a permit. And the only way you could get a permit is if you had a script. Because if you didn't have a script and you were paying people to do that sort of thing, that was considered prostitution.
Yeah.
But if you had a script and all those scenes were justified by the plot of the movie, then it was considered acting. And so they brought in mainstream writers like me to give them 30, 35, sometimes 40-page scripts so they could shoot in LA and not have to go up to San Francisco or out to God knows where. And so that's how it came about. And it turned into a nice gig.
I should have told him this. It was pretty gangster. Now, this is my own words. It's not only gangster, but it's Superman, which that makes it more like Robin Hood. Think about it. He's just stopping crimes and creating art.
And then eventually, after Scotty left the country, the companies that he was shooting for invited me to come in and direct. They needed a director. So I started directing and my own scripts. So I did about 500 scripts for other directors. And then when I started directing, I did about 300 plus for myself.
The numbers are huge. The first time I saw it, I was like, is that a typo?
It was, in fact, not a typo.
It's almost 900.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which seems ridiculous. And you think, how do you find time to do all that? But it just took me about 2 days per script. So that 900 scripts would be 1,800 days spread over 25 years.
That's so cool.
And my cameramen would tell me when I was directing, they'd come out and a lot of the actors and actresses, and they would say, now that they had met me because I'm directing, but they would say before that, they said 9 out of 10 scripts that they were working with were by me. So everything was Cash Markman.
And it sure was. The picture was 85 minutes long, down to 17 minutes. PG. A lot of it is like espionage, with references only to like death and torture and slipping Mickeys. But we also have some innuendos to Get Lucky and some very sexy women. And so that's PG. Get Smart was a huge 60s TV show. And that's what Get Lucky is. It's the adult version of Get Smart, Get Lucky. And done with fine-tuned precision. The actors, the music, the everything, the whole feel is spot on perfection. This is how a parody is done.
There you are. I called this meeting over 5 hours ago. What took you two?
Sorry, Chief. I had a little trouble waking up this morning.
I kinda slipped him a Mickey.
You what?
It was a self-defense, Mickey, Chief. I slipped her one first.
But you two are on the same side.
Now you tell us. Getting another one of those headaches, Chief?
Can I get you some aspirin, Chief?
No need, 69. I've got some right here. He gets these headaches a lot. Seems every time I'm around him, he's got one.
Enough about my headaches. We got some real trouble here. While you two were out having your little snooze together, someone got to Senator Pickleton.
Don't tell me he's dead.
He's dead, Max.
I asked him not to tell me.
I feel terrible. His wife, too?
I'm afraid so. Just like all the others. The senator and his wife, if you'll pardon my friend.
Wait a minute, Chief. I think you're about to share some very sensitive information for me. Maybe we should use the cone of whispers.
Oh, Max, the cone of whispers, it hasn't been working very well lately. We sent it out for repairs.
Ah, but we have that portable model they've been working on.
If you insist, Max, yes.
You know, Chief, they got these garlic pills now that don't have any odor.
Let's take the work, Max. The senator and his wife.
They were killed by a duck with bad breath?
No, Max.
To death. Ah, they were killed by a truck driver named Seth.
No, Max. To death!
He said to death.
Did you hear that, Chief?
That's terrible news.
Yeah, and it'd be really bad if I'd voted for the guy.
How could this happen? I mean, the senator and Miss Pickleton knew they were in danger.
But being pre-warned seemed to have no effect. At least, that's how it looked. Lazarby, bring in that tape we were watching a few minutes ago. At his request, the senator had us install surveillance cameras throughout his residence. What took place a few hours ago was caught completely on camera.
Here's that tape you asked for, Chief.
Excellent, Lazarby. Put it in the machine. I must warn you two, the tape you're about to see is extremely disturbing. The senator and his wife, the size of raisins.
Actually, I think they're more like pistachios, Chief, because they're...
What difference could it possibly make? It was a horrifying death.
That's awful.
I could think of a couple worse ways to go.
Max! Until we learn who the evil minds behind this scheme are, we'll have no way of knowing who the next victim might be. It could even be the president himself.
Who could be behind all this, Chief?
There's only one organization low enough to stoop to such depraved trickery.
The Republicans!
No, Max.
Some more aspirin, Chief.
I'm referring to scum. Now, we do happen to know the name of their head agent here in the region.
Wolfgang Heinirk!
Exactly, Max.
He's horrible looking, Chief. Who is this guy?
Only the most ruthless, cold-blooded, and sadistic agent scum has. Murder, torture, terrorism. Just 3 of his tricks.
He knows some really good card tricks as well.
Oh, he's got a great sleight of hand. There was one time he pulled the quarter out of this guy's ear.
Lazarby, Max!
Sorry, Chief.
If we could just stick to the silly little plot of this little story before We all get lost?
Aspirin, Chief?
Maybe we better go, Max. I'll stay in the lab until the reports come back.
Thank you, 69.
Chief, I've been meaning to ask you. How come all the male command agents have code names and all the female ones have numbers?
I don't know, Max. It just worked out that way.
Here's that folder you wanted, Chief.
Oh, thank you, Agent 38, 24, 36.
You're welcome.
Max, maybe you could wait in the lab with Agent 69 before my headache gets any worse?
Sure thing, Chief, but here, have another aspirin.
No, Max, I'm sure once you leave, the 4 I've already taken will kick right in.
Might have one hell of a kick there, Chief, but looks like instead of aspirin, I gave you some of my knockout capsules. Sorry about that, Chief.
So, Max, you never told me why the chief assigned you the codename of Lucky.
For some reason, he was betting I'd never live through my first assignment, but I proved him wrong. Now, hundreds of assignments later, I'm still proving him wrong. Plus, I always get the girl.
Now, whenever the chief wants Max, he yells, "Get lucky!" Then he takes an aspirin.
I see. Well, I guess I'll just have to stay close to you, Max, and maybe I'll get lucky too.
Well, you know, I was gonna check out this warehouse I suspect Scum is using as their newest hideout. Wanna go?
I promised the chief I'd stay here. Besides, he'll be really mad if he wakes up and the results are not on his desk.
You know, for some reason, he's always so grumpy when he wakes up after I've accidentally knocked him out. I guess I'll just have to go check out this new Scum hideout on my own.
No, take Tiny.
Tiny? The robot? He's about that tall.
Yes, I've improved him. I've made him bigger and stronger. And I've taught him how to dance.
Swell. If we get forced into a tango contest at gunpoint, I hope he knows I'm the one doing the leading. Anyway, I'll see you later, Charlie. We're in luck, Tiny. The place seems to be empty.
On the contrary, Max. This warehouse is filled with many items.
Will you take those things off?
But you told me to be in disguise, Max.
With a jacket like that, if there were any Scum agents here, they would have seen us coming from 3 miles away. Now, we've had this place under surveillance for quite some time now, but we have yet to find any conclusive evidence that the place is being used by Scum as a hideout. However, we have had our Agent 13.5 here searching for the last 6 months. Agent 13.5, you see anything yet?
Not from in here, I haven't.
Well, then keep your eyes open and keep looking. Now, let's take a look around.
Where do we begin, Max?
Search me. Tiny, must you always take me so literally?
I can't help it, Max. I am a robot. I was programmed to think literally. If you'd like to take a moment to adjust my programming, by pressing a series of buttons, you can modify my personality.
Just by pressing some buttons, huh? But I saw you back at the locker room. I mean, and aside from some obvious exaggerations, you look completely human. I didn't see any buttons.
They're well hidden, Max, in case I was ever captured by enemy agents. I am allowed to reveal my buttons to a fellow agent. My reprogramming will only take a few moments if you assist.
Like I said before, I'd like you just the way you are. Now it's time to get busy. Let's shake a leg. Are you done yet?
Yes, Max.
Fine. So, you look over there, I'll look around over here.
What am I searching for, Max?
Anything to show this place is being used by Scum as a hideout.
Right, Max.
Now, if I could only find some good, solid evidence that this place is being used by Scum as a hideout.
Very clever, Mr. Sharp. Pardon me for one moment. That is better. You were saying?
Wolfgang Heinirk. So, we meet again.
At your service, Agent Sharp. That is, if your service is dying. I believe you know Delilah Death. Miss December in the Scum calendar last year. The calendar of beautiful but evil spies in the nude.
Delilah Death, known throughout the spy world as the Black Widow. I understand you eat your lovers.
Don't all bad girls? To eliminate the leaders of the free world.
Enough, Delilah. After all, we don't have to tell Agent Lucky everything. Anyone as notorious as Maxwell Sharp should be able to figure out a few things on his own.
How else but with Delilah Death herself?
Enough! That information will do you little good now, Sharp. You are a prisoner.
You don't actually think you can hurt me with that water pistol, do you, Heinirk?
You make a move and I will squirt you right in the lederhosen. You may get out, but let me tell you, anyone that sees you will think that you wet yourself.
You wouldn't dare.
Go ahead and try me.
All right, you got me there. What happens next?
Delilah, search the warehouse. Find whoever came in with him and kill them with love.
With pleasure. Well, hello there, big boy.
Hello.
What are you doing?
I wonder what is taking so long.
Maybe she met her match.
Inconceivable.
Oh? Take a look.
Congratulate me, Wolfgang. I'm getting married.
What?
Now I'm like a schoolgirl experiencing her first crush.
Delilah! This is scum. We do not tingle here.
Speak for yourself, Scarface. I'm going to Vegas. Come on, Pookie Wookie.
Gott in Himmel. Pookie Wookie.
All right, Heinirk, drop the squirt gun.
And what are you going to do? Shoot me with a water pistol of your own?
Not just any water pistol, Heinirk. This water pistol is filled with Washington, D.C. tap water, the most toxic substance known to man.
Very well, then. You have me. Freeze! You know what this is? This is a phaser from that old television show. Do you know what it's capable of, Mr. Sharp?
What, getting canceled after 3 seasons?
No! You are the one that is going to be canceled, Mr. Sharp. Made in Taiwan. It figures. What a piece of scheisse!
There, Chief. Is the headache gone?
It usually gets better when Max isn't around. How long was I out?
About 30 minutes, Chief.
But even more importantly, Chief, we've taken her into custody.
We've got her in irons?
Better, Chief. Marriage certificate. Signed by a Las Vegas minister of the peace and Elvis impersonator. Delilah Death is soon to find out that the only thing worse than getting out of prison is a bad marriage.
We've got the top agent of scum in custody too, Chief.
Wolfgang Heinirk? How did we ever get so lucky?
We got lucky by getting lucky. Max brought him in. Well, actually, Heinirk chased Max here with some sort of a laser gun, and he was about to shoot his head off, but we grabbed him in time.
Max and Agent 382436 have him in the interrogation room as we speak.
Quick, Lazarby. Get the surveillance monitor. Let's see what's going on down there.
You might as well talk, Heinirk. I know all about your evil plan. And Delilah Death is out of circulation now.
You may have me under lock and key, but my evil plan continues.
Don't make me torture you, Heinirk.
Torture. I would only find pleasure in it.
Sometimes pleasure can be the greatest torture of all.
What do you mean?
You'll see. Agent 382436, he's all yours.
I never thought he'd leave. Now we can be alone.
Go ahead, try whatever you want. When we become agents at Scum, we are subjected to every kind of torture known to humankind. I've had bamboo shoots shoved under my fingernails, and I enjoyed it. Beat me with the hose, it doesn't bother me. Want to whip me? Go ahead, I would only laugh. Ha! Try whatever you want. They've already thought of it before.
Well, that does it, Chief. Goodness and rightness triumph over badness and nastiness once again.
Thanks to you, Max. But you must tell me, how did you ever lead Wolfgang Heinirk here to our secret headquarters to be arrested?
I didn't lead him here, Chief. You see, he figured I'd come here, and since he already had the address, he even got here before I did.
You had the address? Lazarby. How was that possible?
Beats me, Chief. Maybe it's the way we're listed in the directory. Maybe next time I won't advertise in the yellow pages under hideouts. It could be.
You having one of those headaches again, Chief?
He's getting them more and more all the time, Max.
Well, cheer up, Chief. At least I got this nifty weapon from Heinirk. I think it's like a laser gun or something like that. Max! Sorry about that, Chief.
Not only did everything work out for you, but your good luck rubbed off on the entire free world.
Just another day at the office, 69.
I find that hard to believe.
Missed it by that much.
What did you think of that? Wasn't that so cool?
How many days did you have on Get Lucky?
A day and a half. I think we did both of them together. Get Lucky and the sequel, Get Luckier.
Oh, you shot them at the same time?
I think so. It would have made sense. So we would do that with the Star Trek parodies. We would shoot two of them back to back in 3 days.
Yeah.
And because you're building those sets, and it would be, you couldn't afford to do that for just one movie. So we would share the sets in both movies, and we share the cast. You got the same characters, the same costumes. And so we did two Get Lucky movies, so I'm assuming that we shot them back to back. But these things, when you have to shoot them in a day, like Scotty did, and I had to do a few one-day wonders too. It was a luxury to have that extra half day and be able to do two movies in 3 days.
All right, Dick Smothers Jr., the son of the famous Smothers brothers, obviously Dick Smothers. And that's crazy to have that famous of a father and then get into the adult film industry and do something that no one does. Use your real name.
And you saw Dick Smothers Jr. As the Maxwell Smart character in Get Smart. And I discovered him. I put him in his first movie, and he's a good actor. And
he does such a good job in Get Lucky.
The first movie I put him in was called Bad Influence, which was a takeoff on The Graduate. And he played the Dustin Hoffman character, and he was really good. But I kept looking at him thinking, you look a lot like Don Adams. And so I wrote those two Get Smart parodies, Get Lucky and Get Luckier, just to get him to play that part. I said, you look a lot like him. Can you sound like him? And he did that voice. Okay, perfect. We got to do this.
He didn't just have a famous dad. He was talented all around. Musician, actor, was in the industry for about 5 years, did about 50 movies. He was in a couple of Cash's Star Treks. He was in, obviously, both the two Get Luckies. And his first film ever was Bad Influence, which was written and directed by Cash. And it was the take on The Graduate. He played the Dustin Hoffman part. And he got nominated for Best Actor right out of the gate, first time for AVN for Best Actor. And he also was nominated for this. And his partner, Agent 69, was Nikki Benz. She knocked it out of the park. She's been in about 250 movies. It's her first time on the show. Actually, all these people, it's their first time on Squeaky Clean Adult Films, minus one. And you might have seen Nikki. She was just in the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee thing. What was it called? I think it was called Pam and Tommy. Like 2 years old. It just came out. Krystal Steele, which was my personal favorite. She was the scientist, Charlie. She's also been in a bunch of movies. I actually knew her. A lot of these people were actually not just new to the show, but just new to me in general. But she got her start with those up-and-comers and More Dirty Debutantes. Remember those? They were huge in the brand new millennium. I worked in a video store back then. They were like the #1 sellers. Unfortunately, not story-driven, but super popular.
I liked her because she could act, as you could see.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we were looking for a brunette because in the old TV show, Agent 99 was played by a brunette, but they had her under contract and wanted me to use her. We thought about putting her in a wig, but she was such a good-looking blonde. We just thought, oh, what the heck.
Yeah.
She was one of Jenna Jameson's #1 friends. Look at her filmography. Jenna is like in every other title. It's a Jenna movie. The Chief was so good, and that's writer-actor Frank Buckwood, and he made me have to revise my script. I thought this was Cash's 11th movie we've done, and I had to cross it out and put a 12 next to it because he wrote Babe Watch. The Buck Adams directed John Doe Babe Watch. We've done Babe Watch, so we've done one of his scripts. And then I go look at the opening titles of the movie, and it's written by Cash Markman and Frank Buckwood. 38, 24, 36. Mason. That's Mason Storm. She was in Who's Killing the Pets, which was written and directed by Cash Markman. A huge budget Penthouse film. All these people, I'm so unfamiliar with this era, but I do know a few of these people from Marc Cushman, and Who's Killing the Pets is phenomenal. Steve Austin played Lazenby. He was amazing. I was going to say kind of the comic relief, but almost everything is the comic relief. You might have seen him in A Clockwork Orgy. I've seen it. You've probably seen it. Tiny the Robot, played by not so tiny Lee Stone. He was in Bad Influence with Dick Summers Jr. I just saw him in That Voodoo That You Do, which is Shannon McCulloch movie. Lee Stone, Evan Stone, Kyle Stone. I love saying that. They're all with Shanna, and that's written and directed by Cash.
Lee Stone and Evan Stone and Kyle Stone, all the Stones.
Yeah.
Aria played Delilah Death there at the end. She did such a good job. You might know her from Little Miss Mayhem, from Cafe Flesh 3. And then, of course, we have Tony Tedeschi making his way into the 10 movie club. 10 movies. And he did such a good job. Always being an eccentric weirdo, which is something I highly respect.
The scar on his face.
Yeah.
He was wonderful. Tony was so much fun in that part. He was always good. I loved hiring him too. But he just chewed up the scenery with that character.
He sure did. There was one time where he switched his eye patch and then did this little fancy touch, like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just wearing it for effect. Obviously, both of his eyes are fine.
Yeah.
We've seen him in 2 Taboos. We've seen him in 2 of the current revised Debbie Does Dallases. Seen him in 2 of Cash's movies. Well, now 3. Babe Watch, Priceless, and this. Also Quantum Deep, Blue Bayou, and Chasey Saves the World. I loved the music. Man, as soon as it starts, we talked about it.
Attention to detail, from Get Smart to Get Lucky. One of the things that I was very impressed with was the music. And there's no music credit on the movie.
The guy's name was Stan. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't remember if he had a pseudonym we used, but his real name was Stan, and he was a music friend of mine. And so that was the Get Smart March. or in this case, the Get Lucky March.
Get Lucky
So it's
March.
very reminiscent of the song from the TV show, but different notes, so you don't get sued. But it's got a marching rhythm.
As soon as that starts going up the steps and that theme song, it is like, what? It sets the tone. The attention to detail. You did a very good job.
Did everything make sense to you?
And if you're wondering, if anybody's wondering why is all that popcorn in the chief's office, it's because they're watching the video that was made by a surveillance camera of the politician and his wife going crazy. And so they're all eating popcorn as they're doing that. I know you had to snip that out, but we did popcorn. So that's why there's popcorn in that thing. Well, then we'll just say, for anybody watching, what they were just watching on that monitor was the politician played by Herschel Savage and his wife. So it's good husband-wife relations.
Correct.
Because of the dastardly influence from the organization Scum, it's taken too far, and they love themselves until they just lose their minds.
What else did we lose from the X version to the PG version?
Oh, well, you cut out my favorite scene.
Controlling the robot?
Yes, the robot. They're in the warehouse trying to see if Scum has been using this place. And he's saying, if we could just find a clue, that would be Max. And behind them on every crate is a sticker that says Scum. They don't even see that. But the robot takes everything literally. So if he says, search me, the robot starts searching him, or shake a leg, he starts shaking his leg. And these are gags that were on the original TV series. And so the robot says to him, he says, do you have to take everything so literally? And he says, well, I do have buttons you can push that will change my personality to your liking. And he says, I've never seen any buttons on you. And he says, well, they're hidden, but I'm allowed to reveal them to a fellow agent. And he drops his pants and he bends over with his back end facing Max. And he says, now, if you'll just insert your arm up to the forearm, you'll find a series of buttons and you can press them. And I love Dick Smothers' reaction. He just looks at me and he says, thank you. No.
Yeah. And he tries to get him to do it a couple times. He's like, no, I'm good. I like you the way you are.
So now they know what they missed.
Correct.
Man, that was so good. So good. I still almost can't even believe that I got to sit there with Marc Cushman. All right, remember, this was hacked to pieces. In April, we are releasing all of our celebrity guests' interviews pretty much in full. They'll be trimmed a bit, but Cash and I talked about tons of stuff about the film world, parodies in general, what you can and can't do on a movie set, Mike Horner, Star Trek, a bunch of categories. So make sure to check that out. They'll be posted sometime in April. Okay, little call out to the audience real quick. Does anybody of you beautiful people out there know where we can see Shaving Ryan's Privates? Everything I find, every little weird crack of the internet, a forum that mentions it, there's no links. And when there is links, they're to deleted videos. I haven't even seen a trailer, a teaser. I haven't seen one frame.
Hey, speaking of you and Mike Horner and parodies, there is a documentary I've been looking for years called Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Yeah.
And it is nowhere.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, so we're in the same boat.
If you ever get a copy, let me see it.
If you search the title, there's a lot of forums of people discussing the documentary. So it's out there and people have seen it.
Yeah, I seem to recall they interviewed me for that. I don't remember them ever sending me a copy. I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Marc hasn't even seen it. So if anyone can hook us up with that, I'd be greatly appreciated. I know our audience loves the spoof, so I feel like someone has to know something. All right, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. That's very cool of you. Don't subscribe, don't like, don't share, just watch. Appreciate the watching. Exhibitionist over here. I'm more of a voyeur, but I guess in this case, I'm an exhibitionist. Does that make sense? I don't know. We have donation buttons if you feel so inclined. That's up to you. I'm not in your business. I just want you to watch. Okay, Tuesday we got Wednesday, hump day. Another audience request coming up, and I think that's it. Extra special thanks to Cash for coming on the show. That was awesome. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did.